the honor and all of the praise. Okay, let's chat GPT this thing. We're not gonna flow.
You know what? I really hope if elders and pastors in our movement that are in their late 40s, 50s, if they stumble across out of the boat. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still working on him. And apparently so is Jesus.
Would it be possible to translate these into Spanish? It's a lot of work. We had a question. You can give your input, and then I will give my input if you want, or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something different that I never, ever do. But
this is Chris's show, so I'm submitting.
It is the Lord's.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Dang it. There is, you know those trees that like give off all this sticky stuff?
Yeah, it's called sap.
Okay. My shoes are coated.
Oh, that's just, and they're new too.
I know. Dang it. Okay. We never asked this, but I've noticed everybody does this, and I'm thinking it's something we need to add about. If you haven't subscribed, to subscribe. Right? I feel like
I don't think you've
that.
ever asked people to subscribe.
Done that before. But if you haven't, just do it. And then what was the other thing? Oh, there's something I do want to keep hammering every episode if I can. If I remember. It's called sticker evangelism. Little stickers, you buy them. Well, no, some of them aren't little. But I got to work on it more, but you buy stickers. It literally says Acts 2:38 on it. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
I only have this one here that I put on this cup because the cup broke in half, and I was trying to use it to hold it together. But
come on now.
You could put this on, well, don't graffiti, but if you see a place with a bunch of other stickers, just slap one up there for Jesus too. It says Acts 2:38. You scan this barcode, and it brings you to a website that lists the steps of salvation and kind of gives more in depth. I still have to add videos like Bible studies to it. And then there's a place where you can insert on a form for a Bible study. So if someone has questions, they can sign up for that, and then we can get a Bible study scheduled for them. Somebody in a different state on the East Coast, I don't know how I found out about it, but they bought a batch of stickers. Somebody here, I think in not Fresno, Kerman, bought some stickers. I don't know either of those people, but I think that's pretty cool. I myself there's a mug on the website. I just bought it. I want to see what it looks like. So I bought
you don't even know what your own mug.
I don't know what my own mug looks like. So I bought one to see how they come out. I think that's pretty cool. So if you go, the link is in the description below this video. It's the Acts 2:38 stickers. It's a good way to evangelize to multiple people. So for example, there's this 4-way stop intersection here in Stockton. I mean, they're everywhere, but there's this main one that I'm at every day. And the sign, the road sign, whatever's there, is just covered in stickers. A lot of it's just inappropriate junk. But me and a group of people have gone out sometimes at like midnight between 12 and 2, and we'll go throughout Stockton and we'll just start blanketing like the city with like a batch of stickers all over the city, so that when someone stopped at a stoplight, they're looking at it like, okay, Acts 2:38, they at least get that in their mind. But now if they're smart enough to, let me scan it, see what it's about, they can scan it and then, learn a bunch. So it's a good way to evangelize to hundreds of thousands of people that might see that sticker a day. I don't know. Then the other thing, what was the other thing? Okay, so today we're going to do something a little bit different. People have asked questions, and I mentally note it, or sometimes I'll put it in my notes in my phone to get to it and do a podcast on it. 99% of the time, never get to it. So,
sorry, genuinely, sincerely.
I want to try to shift some of the pods dedicated to answering these questions. I don't remember the exact question, and I can't find it. But all I do remember is because it is something that's, I don't want to say near and dear to my heart, but something that I think resonates with me a lot is the person asked, what is the importance of seasonal friendships, or what is your take on seasonal friendships, or something like that, some to that extent. And for me, for sure, growing up, I had, my friends I grew up with on my street, neighborhood kids. We hung out every day. We, build things. I don't know about you guys, but we built big old clubhouses. We built tree houses. We lived on a canal that connected to the ocean, and we would build these rafts. And there was times like we were on them, and then like there was 6 of us on the thing, and it just started sinking. And yeah, we had to abandon ship many times. We had to let the little ship float away. We built like go-karts. We built stuff. I mean,
engineers.
Yeah, no, we had a childhood. Let me tell you that. We built. This one time we put this huge ladder up against the house. And I had taken a little Tykes car, and we pushed it all the way to the top, and then we put a bar in it to hold it. And then I got in it, and then we removed the bar. Man, that sucker
off the roof?
Yes, flew down that ladder, like boom, 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 ran down the ladder. Well, the steep incline was so much that it slammed the ground and shot me out like a catapult. So we moved it to the shed that was slightly lower. So when you have the ladder up against the shed like this, and then you start to push the car up it, the weight teeters it like this.
Okay.
So it's still on a slant, but it's teetered. So you put the car on it. We're all up on top of the roof of the shed. You get in it, and it starts to go click, 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 click. And then when it gets to the edge, click, 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 and it goes down the bottom. It was so fun. We did so many dumb things like that. We poured detergent all over the trampoline with the hose, and we were slipping all over the place. We would jump off the roof into we did all kinds of psychotic stuff, but it was so fun. Why was I saying this?
Those were your friends.
Oh, okay. For that season, those were my friends. And, I don't know if that sounds terrible, but I didn't see anything like super spiritual about that. But I know in this season of life, I've noticed end of middle school, beginning high school, maybe the end of high school, part of college, I had a season of friends, a group of friends, and they helped me in so many ways that I could not help them. Yes, I also, it was like give and take. I helped them in areas that they couldn't see, and then they helped me in a lot of areas. I mean, they helped shape and mold me in a godly way. And then kind of life changed, and I thought, I'm going to be friends with them forever. They're going to be my best man at my wedding. They're going to be, you know what I mean? Like I had like the whole groomsmen lined up. That whole thing's probably changed like 100%. I mean, like all 10 people I had, the whole new group. And I still, consider them like, brothers and stuff, but it's definitely shifted. They've helped me a lot. But now in like another season, I had another group of friends that helped shaped and mold me and brought me closer to God. And I, in return, I was trying to help them in different ways that they couldn't see. But in this, I guess another season, I had another group of friends for about a period of like 4 or 5 years. I'm still friends with them, but it's not as like day to day as it is, was then. And they helped me in ways that I literally could not imagine. And I basically describe, this friend listens to the podcast, and I know they're going to know who I'm talking about.
Text him.
No, I actually just texted him. He was the friend that I never wanted. Like I didn't want to be friends with someone like him, but he was the friend that I definitely needed. And so I thought through the whole friendship, I'm like, man, like, thank you, Jesus, for this blessing. Like, even though he's a really pain in the butt and I can't stand him half the time, like, I'm thankful because this is what I need. This is like the surgery that I needed. And it helped me change in these ways that I've been praying for. Even though at first I didn't see it, but now I understand. And it's funny because I remember one night we're sitting in his living room and he literally said, I think God brought you here just to be my friend. And I was like, I think it was the other way around, but okay. But I thought it was really cool. So we both helped each other. It's I call it a God-ordained friendship. God ordains your relationship with your spouse, but I think he also cares enough to ordain your friendships to help shape and mold you. It's good to pray about your friends. Like,
Yeah.
should I be friends with this person? Should I, keep a distance? Are they influencing me the right way or the wrong way? And the Bible says iron sharpens iron. And a lot of my friends have really just pushed me to do better. There's other friends that I get around that they might be apostolic, but when we're together, I don't know where the apostolic went. So I try to be like, yeah, hey bro, like, I try to keep it at a distance. I don't ostracize them, but I make sure that I understand my barrier. I want to make sure that I'm being sharpened and I'm being taken in the right direction. I don't want to leave that day thinking, man, I got to go on a 21-day fast to get over that couple of hours of just hanging out with him.
Yeah.
That's not the friendship I want to be a part of. So then after this past season, kind of moved on to, which I think this is interesting. The friend that I had this past time, I was like, oh, for life, which it is for life. But in that season, I never expected the season to end. But as I could see it happening and I knew it was ending, I was like, man, I was sad, like this stinks. And you have to be vigilant and not tunnel minded that, oh, that's the only way. Like, that's the only friend that I have. Like, that's it. Because God, you have to allow God to bring in somebody else. For example, very real example, Jonathan, who used to be here. You'll never replace him. But anyways, Jonathan, who used to be here, he tried for a long time to be my friend. And he would try for several months. He was like, hey, honey, can we hang out? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. I'm like, at the time, I thought he was like, 5 years old. I'm like, okay, you're a child. I'm not hanging out with you. Little did I know he's actually close in age with me. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. You're not a kid. So I talked to him like once or twice, but I'm like, this kid, like, I don't know why he's trying to be my friend.
Yeah.
Like, it would irritate me. And a lot of times I'd be skeptical of why people want to be my friend. So I just I put him off for like, apparently he says like 6 months to a year. I just kept ignoring him.
Oh my goodness.
But I know. But then finally I realized as this friendship was phasing out, God was trying to bring in someone new. And it wasn't till much later, when I became friends with Jonathan, I realized, oh, wow, this is a God-ordained friendship. This is the next friendship in the season. And I do, like, this time I do feel like this is the end. Like, this is my seasonal friendships. Like, he's the type of person, like, we'll be best friends for life type of thing. And I'll always talk to him, stuff like that. I still talk to him, like, every day. But as you're developing and growing up until, like your early to late adult years before, get married and everything, God's going to bring different people in your path to shape and mold you. And once this past friendship phased out, we're still friends and everything. We still talk all the time. But God brought in Jonathan. Literally every friendship that I've had has built upon each other. And it has refined it more and more and more, carved it more and more and more. And it's crazy to see God use these people in totally different ways. So I had one group help me in this area. Boom. And then another thing I was praying about, God helped me in this area. Another friendship. It is so vital and important to pray about the friends that God brings into your life because it helps and shapes and molds you. If I had different friends, there are different people in our circle. If I was friends with them only, I don't think I would have changed and been molded into the way that God wants me to. He specifically has certain people he wants into your life. And that's why it's so important. Now, to the person who might be sad about letting that friendship go, this is how I look at it. If they built you up and they helped you and they shaped and molded you and they're still a good influence, you don't really ever have to, let it go forever. I mean, it won't be the common day-to-day, like if you move away or they get married and move on. Like, it's fine. Like, you guys are still brothers. You guys are still sisters, whatever. And you can text and talk. And there's times where I might be going through something and I want to seek, their guidance. I'll contact them. We'll talk and other stuff. But it's not like it's over. It's not like it ended forever. And at first, yes, I was bummed. I was depressed. I'm like, but now it's like, I know that we still have our connection. I know that we're good and everything's fine. And God has given me that peace. and at the right time he brings in another friend. Hopefully the next friend will be my wife, but anyways.
We need a lot of people praying for that one.
We need the whole audience interceding.
We need the whole audience.
Please go on fast.
For Chris's wife.
Yeah, make it obvious, Lord. Anyways, so
for what she's going to have to deal with, not for him to find her. It's going to happen.
But I definitely, there's a common saying, what is it? Your vibe attracts your tribe, or like birds of a feather flock together, stuff like that. Do not surround yourself with garbage.
Right.
And I know that there's some people in situations where they either go to a small church or they live in a small town, or they go to a small school and they only have a circle of 5 friends and they're all carnal. Like, what do you do in that situation? Honestly, I have no idea. I could only imagine though. Don't cut them off, still fellowship with them, talk with them and everything. But I would definitely keep it to a minimum, because I don't want to be influenced by someone else. Right. And I don't want to be taken down a path that God doesn't want me to go down and go through a whole detour just because I want to hang out with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. When you're a youth, and I know we do have a lot of teenagers that watch, like, that is extremely difficult. Because you're still trying to figure out who you are, what you're about, and your friend group really does solidify that, or at least help you get to find that answer, or so we feel it does when we're a teenager. As you were talking earlier and how you just ended, Psalms 1 came to mind. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. So there's a blessing that God has for you, has for us in our life when we don't walk with those that are involved in the world, that live a life of sin, nor when we sit down and hang out and spend time with those that do so. There's a blessing there, something that God gives us. And like Chris said, you don't have to cut it off. Now, there may be some friendships that are so toxic and bad that you do need to cut off. But there can be a gradual pulling away, and that decision of gradually pulling away is extremely difficult. But the whole concept you were talking about, I feel like the principle is in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 and verse 5. To everything there is a season.
I was just about to read that.
A time for every purpose under heaven. And then verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. So yes, people are going to come in and out of your life, especially like what you were describing and the season of life that we're in. We have kind of come out of those formative years, the teenage time frame, and then the early 20s time frame, which teenage and early 20s are very formative to our identity, to our purpose, and people. God will use people to come in and out of your life to develop you, to change you, to shape you, to mold you. So yes, it happens. It's very difficult to navigate, but with a prayer life, with reading the word, you can navigate it. And like you probably know, naturally, some of it will happen naturally. Mm-hmm. If you just keep living for God, keep showing up to church, keep doing what you're supposed to do, people are going to just slowly, gradually fall away. And you're going to see the groups that God is drawing you toward.
One thing that is popping into my mind is, at least from my experience, and I'm sure other people have gone through this too, is sometimes in your friend group, you'll notice the people that you were surrounded with move on, get married, kid. Like some people might move on. They might get a better job and they start a life, and like it feels like sometimes you might be stagnant. It's like, okay, why am I not advancing? Why am I not going forward? Am I doing something wrong that God's holding me back? And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a tactic of the enemy to get you down and stuff. But God has a perfect timing for everything. And you might be in that season because he's refining you for more or refining you for something else. It's not that you're stuck or you're doing something wrong and God's waiting for you to fix it. You know what I mean? But his timing is everything. I know there's been people in my life that I knew that, oh my gosh. Oh, you are lying. That is the Bible, but I think I'm going to.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Guys, there's a spider crawling on Chris's Bible.
I'm scared. Where did that come from? Okay. Anyways. Yeah, so I don't know what I was saying. You're not falling behind. You're moving forward.
God's timing is perfect.
God's timing is perfect. Don't go before his timing, or you'll have to make a detour, and you'll actually be taking longer to where you need to go. In Jesus' name.
I hope this helps to answer your question.
Yes, honestly,
I hope it helps.
These questions are fun. If you want, just I don't know how. I don't think they inbox on YouTube, but just comment questions, and we'll try to answer every single one. This is fun. I enjoy this.
Yeah, I did too. It was a good time. Love y'all. Later.